Greetings, Mavericks and new viewers. Tonight, direct and live from the Maverick News Network World Studios. This is Maverick News with Rick Walker.
Mr. Zelensky goes to Washington to talk missiles with President Trump. Jim Kerr, political activist out at the Universal Ostrich Farm, has been arrested. And it's all a show. In fact, it's a reality show that is going viral. We'll dig into all of that and a whole lot more when we come back on the other side of this.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, defending free speech, Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Welcome back to the Maverick News channel, and we have so much news to share with you tonight. Of course, Vladimir Zelensky in Washington meeting with President Trump. The meeting and the questions from media that resulted, of course, brought us a lot more information about things beyond Ukraine. Just all kinds of stuff coming out of today's session at the White House. Let's pick this up right here. I'm going to let some of this roll because as we go along, Trump dominates the news cycle once again today.
Today we'll be talking about what took place yesterday with my phone call with President Putin. And I think that things are coming along pretty well. It began with Alaska, where I think certain guidelines were discussed, and we want to see if we can get this done. This was long ago into the Biden administration. I came here and we inherited this, and we'd like to see if we could finish it, end it. We want it ended. So many people have died in this war, and we're gonna get it ended. So I just want to thank you all very much. If you have a couple of questions, go ahead, please. In fact, before I do that, let me just ask the President to say a few words. Thank you, President.
Pleasure. Glad to meet you again, Mr. President. Thank you very much for the invitation. Again, my congratulations with your successful ceasefire in the Middle East.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you did it. And I think this is the momentum to finish Russia's war against Ukraine. I think that, yes, we understand that Putin is not ready. I think not ready, but I think that I'm confident that with your help, we can stop this war. And we really need it. We see that they don't have successful steps on the battlefield, and it's good. I think that their army is weak now, but a lot of losses. They have a lot of losses and in economy and people, and I think this is a very important moment. And I wanted to thank you, Mr. President, after our phone calls. Yesterday I had a good opportunity to meet with the big American energy companies, and they're ready to help us. Yes, after all these attacks on our infrastructure, Russian attacks, and etc. And I had also meetings thanks to your team, we had meetings with a good military companies. We spoke about air defense, and I want to share it after with details where we are. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President.
Very good. And I think it looks beautiful in his jacket.
Yeah?
It's beautiful. I hope people notice. It's actually very stylish. I like it.
President Trump.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Under the Biden administration, the White House was fearing of a possible escalation. They were not allowing the Ukrainians to strike into Russia, fearing of this escalation.
Yeah.
Would your administration allow Ukrainians to strike deep into Russia?
We're going to be talking about that. That's something we'll be talking about. You're right. It's an escalation, but we'll be talking about that.
Mr. President.
Will President Zelensky join you in Hungary to meet President Putin?
Because it's a leader that we like. We like Viktor Orban. He likes him. I like him. It's a country that's a safe country. Done a very good job. He's been a very good leader in the sense of running his country. He doesn't have a lot of the problems that other countries have. And so we've decided that we'll be going to be with Viktor Orban, and I think he'll be a very good host.
President Trump. President Trump. President Trump. Right here. President Trump.
Hungary, yeah. We're doing Hungary, yeah.
With Putin, is it a trilateral meeting, or is it just you and Putin?
To be determined, but I would say most likely it's going to be a double meeting. It'll be a double meeting, but we will have the President, Zelensky, in touch. There's a lot of bad blood with the two presidents, and I'm not speaking out of turn when I say it. It's a very difficult situation. You know, we just settled the war, and after thousands of years, I guess. People say anywhere from 500 to 3,000 years, and I was in rooms, as you saw, because you were with me, a lot of you were with me last week, with leaders that didn't like each other, but they were able to get along. These two leaders do not like each other, and we want to make it comfortable for everybody. So one way or the other, we'll be involved in threes, but it may be separated.
President Trump. Mr. President. President Trump.
Doesn't agree to peace in Hungary.
Was he what? Where are you from?
From Ukraine. He actually had a
Okay, good.
conversation with me.
Good, yeah.
What if Mr. President Putin doesn't agree to peace in Hungary? What do you do then? Do you have?
Well, let's see what happens. I mean, you know, what if? I think he will. I think that President Putin wants to end the war, or I wouldn't be talking this way. I think he wants to end the war. I spoke to him yesterday for 2.5 hours. We went through a lot of details. He wants to get it ended. I think that President Zelensky wants to get it ended. Now we have to get it done.
President Trump. Kara Castronova from Lindell TV. And although I love asking you questions, today my question is for President Zelensky of Ukraine.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Our President Zelensky, President Trump, just brokered a peace deal in the Middle East that all Americans, both sides of the aisle, are very proud of. But to meet that deal, both sides had to make concessions. Our president has stuck out his neck in many ways to make a peace deal for your war as well. What specific concessions are you willing to make to end this war with Russia? Will you give up joining NATO? Americans have foreign war fatigue, and our president, as he said, we need our tomahawks too.
To me.
Yes, you, President Zelensky.
Thank you very much.
That's some question. Right?
So many questions in one. Thank you very much for your question. First of all, I think we need to sit and speak. The second point, we need ceasefire. Even now, you see in the Middle East, it's very difficult to hold ceasefire. Everywhere, in every war, it's very difficult. We want peace. Putin doesn't want. That's why we need pressure on him. We will speak with President today what we need. We understand what we need to push Putin to negotiation table. And as I said previously, so we are ready to speak in any kind of format, bilateral, trilateral, doesn't matter. Matter just peace. This is important. And we don't speak about NATO or NATO. For Ukrainians, it's very important. Of course, it's our decision, decisions of allies to decide where we are.
But are you willing to give
Yes,
up
but the
joining NATO?
most important thing for people in Ukraine, which are under each day's attacks, to have really strong security guarantees. NATO is the best, but weapon is very important. Allies on our side is very important. And between us, for us, bilateral security guarantees between me and President Trump is very important. I don't know, we didn't speak with details about it, but this is the most important document because the United States is very strong.
Sir, President Trump, you're the middleman right now, hoping to end this conflict. Who is doing a better job negotiating, President Zelensky or President Putin?
I think they're both doing a great job in that sense. We have to get it done. We've got to take some of the hatred of each other. You know, they don't like each other. I say that in front of President Zelensky, but I say it in front of President Putin too. They have tremendous bad blood. It really is what is holding up, I think, a settlement. I think we're going to get it done, and we have to make it long-lasting. As I said in the Middle East, everlasting, right? Everlasting. And the Middle East is a much more complicated situation. You know, we had 59 countries involved, and every one of them agreed. And it's, you know, it's sort of amazing. Most people didn't think that was doable. This is going to be something I really believe that's going to get done. I had a very good talk yesterday with President Putin. I think he wants to get it done.
And President Zelensky, right behind you. When we were in Israel with President Trump earlier in the week, we heard a lot about the difference in diplomacy between President Trump and President Joe Biden before him. What do you see as the biggest difference in diplomacy between President Trump and President Biden?
President Trump has a big chance now to finish this war. President Biden now is not the president, so he doesn't have a chance to finish this war. And President Trump is really showed for the world that he can manage ceasefire in the Middle East, and that's why I hope that he will do this, and we will also have such big success. For Ukraine, it's a big chance, and I hope that President Trump can manage it.
I would say the biggest difference is one is extremely competent and the other one is grossly incompetent.
Sir, a few weeks ago in New York when you two met, you said that you think Ukraine could ultimately take back all the territory that it's lost so far. Do you still think that's the case, or do you think there'll have to be some sort of
You
swap
never
of
know.
territories?
Look, you know, war is very interesting. You never know, do you? You just never know. With war and peace, but you never know.
Are you ready? President Trump,
Please.
Russia calls Tomahawk supply to Ukraine as an escalation, yet it continues using similar cruise missiles like Caliber. And
Yeah.
even
Who are you with? Who are you with? You Ukraine?
Yeah.
Good.
But Russia continue even using the cruise missiles and also nuclear-capable ballistic missiles in Ukraine since 2022. So do you consider providing Ukraine with the Tomahawk or similar missiles as an opportunity to equalize the possibilities of Ukraine and Russia and push Moscow to the negotiation
Yeah.
table?
Sure. We're going to be talking about that. That's why we're here. Okay? Fair question. Exactly as he told you to say it. But we're going to be talking about it. Okay? Yeah, please.
President, message to India and Hungary who is still refusing.
You said India and Hungary? That's an interesting.
And Hungary
India and Hungary. It's an interesting combination.
refuse to stop buying Russian oil.
Well, India is not going to be buying Russian oil anymore. And Hungary is sort of stuck because they have one pipeline that's been there for years and years and years, and they're inland. They don't have sea. They don't have sea. And I spoke with the very great leader of Hungary, and they are, you know, it's very hard for them to get oil. I understand it. Hungary's in a very interesting position because they can't have ports. You know, they're surrounded by land. So we'll see what happens there. But India will not be buying oil from Russia. And they've already de-escalated, and they've more or less stopped. They're pulling back. They bought about 38% of the oil, and they won't be doing it anymore.
President Trump has been helping you in achieving peace in Ukraine.
Who has?
First Lady Melania Trump
Yeah.
has been helping in returning abducted Ukrainian children from Russian captivity. President Zelensky, do you appreciate those efforts? How do you assess them? And did you ask her to step in and to help you?
No, she wanted to do it. She felt very strongly about the children, and she's done a really good job, I think, in bringing it to the fore. You know, we have a lot of children involved. Now, it's some people say it's 20,000, and some people say it's 300. There's a big difference between that, so nobody really knows. But she felt very strongly about the children. She thinks about the children all the time.
President Trump, if you okay tomahawks to Ukraine, what's going to happen if the United States is in a conflict and we need the tomahawks? Do we have enough?
That's a problem. We need tomahawks, and we need a lot of other things that we've been sending over the last 4 years to Ukraine. We've been, we gave them a lot. Now we have a different situation. We send it to the European Union. They pay for it and all that, and they have plenty of money. But it's beyond the money. We need tomahawks, or we need a lot of other weapons that we're sending to Ukraine. One of the reasons we want to get this war over is exactly that. It's not easy for us to give. You're talking about massive numbers of very powerful weapons. So that's one of the things we'll be talking about. Hopefully they won't need it. Hopefully we'll be able to get the war over with without thinking about tomahawks. I think we're fairly close to that. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I say,
yeah, please.
Just to understand. So for today, of course, we want to finish this war, but the war is another technological war. You don't use just tomahawks. If you want to target a military goal, you need thousands of drones. It goes together with such missiles. Ukraine has such thousands of our production drones, but we don't have tomahawks. That's why we need tomahawks. But United States is a very strong production, and the United States has tomahawks and other missiles, very strong missiles, but they can have our thousands of drones. That's why where we can work together, where we can strengthen American production.
And so just so that I understand, so you're suggesting kind of a trade. If President Trump okays Tomahawk missiles to help you launch...
Yes, it's about
Russia,
military goals. It's
then
only about military goals.
Right, but then you would authorize some kind of an exchange where
yes, of course.
the U.S.
Yes, we have proposition. We have big proposition with our drones.
President Trump, I don't mean to be brokering an arms deal here, but is that something that you would be interested in, Ukrainian drones?
We are, yeah, we would. We have a lot of drones right now. We build our own drones, but we also buy drones from others, and they make a very good drone. I mean, drone warfare has really come to the fore over the last couple of years because of this war. I will say, there's nothing like the jets. We knocked out a lot of drones in Israel. We were knocking them out for Israel, and we were doing it with extremely fast and powerful jets, following the drones and knocking the hell out of them. So, we know a lot about the drones, and we know a lot about the great jets, the great ones. The ones, and the B-52s, which were totally they were stealth. They were undetectable. So we have a lot of different weapons. And, I have an obligation also, though, to make sure that we're completely stocked up as a country, because you never know what's going to happen in war and peace, right? You never know what's going to happen. So we're going to be talking about tomahawks, and would much rather have them not need tomahawks, would much rather have the war be over, to be honest, because, we're in it to get the war over. We're selling a lot of different types of weapon, as you know, to the European Union. We're not in it for that. We're in it to get it over. We're losing thousands of people a week, thousands of people, Russian, Ukrainian, mostly soldiers. Mostly soldiers. But we're in it to see that end. And if we can end quickly, and I think we can. I had a very good talk yesterday. We're going to be talking about it. But I had a very productive talk yesterday with President Putin. We'll see what happens. But the war in the Middle East was far more complicated. We got that one done. And I think we have a good chance. I think President Zelensky wants it done, and I think President Putin wants it done. Now all they have to do is get along a little bit.
President Trump.
Can you give us an update on the trade negotiations with China, or perhaps Secretary Bessent?
Yeah, I will, and I'm going to let Scott do that. But I think we're doing very well. I think we're getting along with China. China would like to have something as of this moment. We'll be meeting in a couple of weeks. We'll be meeting in South Korea.
You think
myself.
Will go forward?
I think so. It looks like it's going forward. I think so. They want to meet. We like to meet. I have a very good relationship with President Xi, and we're going to see what happens. But, you know, for years we were taken advantage of by China very badly. We were losing hundreds of billions of dollars a year to China.
Okay, so we're going to kind of end that there. The China thing, it's not going that well. China has stopped purchasing soybeans, placing 0 orders, and they've shifted their purchasing to Argentina, where the economy has been in the dumpster. But Trump likes Malay, so he has coughed up, I think it's $40 billion in aid to Argentina, which has then subsequently dropped taxation on its soybean product, and that has helped Argentina. While American farmers are being left high and dry. Trump has upset some people, and I think a lot of those farmers will be out this weekend for the second No Kings demonstrations, which are set to take hold this weekend in every state across the United States, or divided states of America, such as the case may be. Now, with regard to Ukraine again, just coming back to the main subject at hand, Trump talks about the tomahawks, and then also Zelensky was talking about U.S. energy companies meeting with him yesterday, saying they're ready to help rebuild the country and rebuild infrastructure, rebuild pipelines, etc. It's important to note that Zelensky and his strategies have resulted in about, I understand, Russian refinery production for their oil industry down about 40%. So much so that they've actually started to import gasoline in order to keep the country running. So the strikes inside Russian territory definitely having an impact. And then these Tomahawk missiles, very important as well in the overall equation of things. But where we will end up, you just don't know, as Trump said, and that's because everything with him is completely unpredictable. He is entirely inconsistent on the Ukraine file. 1 minute threatening Putin, saying that he's considering sending Tomahawks to Ukraine, and then today expressing reservations about it. You just never know. That is very, very true. There's another interesting development in all of this. He also talks about shooting down drones with very fast jets, namely F-35s, F-22s, stealth jets, jets that are very difficult to pick up on, or even impossible to pick up on radar, making them very stealthy. That's their edge. These fifth-generation fighters really, in some cases, not even as fast as some fourth-generation fighters, but their versatility, their maneuverability, and their stealth technology is what really gives them the edge and their ability to survive and dominate the skies. Unfortunately, China has begun to, they're saying they have started to mass produce now quantum radar, which could end the era of stealth warfare. So the edge that these very expensive F-35, F-22, fifth generation warfare jets have may soon be a thing of the past.
China has made a move that could potentially change the future of modern warfare. The country says it has started mass producing a new kind of technology, an ultra-sensitive photon catcher that can detect the faintest traces of energy. And experts are saying it could spell the end of stealth aircraft as we know them. Beijing Science and Technology Daily reports that this device, officially called a 4-channel ultra-low noise single photon detector, can identify a single photon, the smallest particle of light. And this breakthrough is more than just scientific progress. It is strategic. By mass producing this detector, China claims it now leads the world in the core components of quantum information technology. And here's why this matters all the more. Traditional stealth jets, like America's F-22, for example, hide from radar by absorbing or deflecting radio waves. But quantum radar does not rely on those waves. Instead, it sends out photons. When those photons hit a stealth aircraft, their quantum state changes, something that cannot be deflected or hidden. And that means China's quantum radar could, in theory, spot even the most advanced stealth aircraft, breaking their invisibility advantage. So that's how crucial it is.
Just when you thought your computer was going to be good for another year, you find out it was obsolete the moment you got it home. Quantum radar, photon beams, and technology beyond Star Trek. This is, I would say, should be a major consideration, a major concern for countries like Canada that are in the process of purchasing 5th-generation jets. In Canada's case, committed to already purchasing 16 F-35s. But the whole contract under review because of Trump's trade war. And the viability of this stealth technology moving into the future should also be a major consideration, because these jets are extremely expensive. You invest in these and commit to buying the rest of them, even a year from now, you might just have yourself a 5th-generation jet with technology that makes it no better, maybe even less effective than a 4th-generation fighter. I don't know. I can't say, because we haven't seen the jets come up against this new Chinese technology. For a little bit more, we bring you this.
China has reportedly started the mass production of a photon detector that can help build quantum radars to track advanced stealth fighters like the F-22 Raptor jet. Beijing claims that it is the world's first ultra-low noise, single photon detector with 4 channels, and its use can extend from communication to defense. The photon catcher is capable of detecting even a single particle of the unit of energy. The device, built by the Quantum Information Engineering Technology Research Center in Anhui Province, could prove detrimental for stealth jets. The photon catcher is described as an ultra-sensitive device that can even detect individual photons.
Contractors, are you?
Yeah. So you spend all your tax money buying these really expensive jets.
Today, like the F-22 or F-35 fighters from the US, rely on special external coating and internal weapons bay, among other changes in plane design, to absorb or deflect the signals sent out by traditional radars. While stealth jets have various tricks to evade traditional radars with some success, the quantum radars might prove to be a game changer in the long run. They send out photons whose quantum properties changes once they hit the stealth aircraft. This means that even the false signals generated by the aircraft would not be able to match the properties of the photons emitted by quantum radars. Once the single-unit photons reach the radar after hitting the stealth aircraft, they are studied, thereby revealing the position of the stealth jets. Moreover, it is also claimed that the quantum radars will consume less power and can be deployed easily on many types of platforms. It also promises to improve detection of low-visibility targets. Years ago, China had developed a quantum radar system with a detection range of approximately 62 miles 100 kilometers. The new 4-channel single photon detector can enhance its capabilities, leading to detection from as many light sources or different parts of the source as possible. In the world of radar detection, it improves the simultaneous detection and tracking ability and also greatly boosts the imaging rate. The system will also run on and emit less energy than traditional radar systems, making it difficult to detect. China claims that the new 4-channel detector is only 1/9 the size of the other single-channel products available in the world. Going forward, the scientists plan to provide homegrown solutions for quantum communication networks and more. The SCMP report states that its mass production will allow Beijing to attain self-sufficiency in developing key components for quantum information technology. Countries around the globe are planning to build faster, bigger, and more stealthy jets which can carry out operations undetected. Therefore, this quantum radar advancement claim by China can raise the worry for US and its allies which are developing the 6th-generation jets for air dominance.
Okay, so we'll leave it there. And if you'd like to see more of that, it's at Military News Update. Here, I'll put this in the chat over on the main Rumble channel. And there's a longer report there. You can watch the rest of it at that link if you so choose. But very useful information, and we should be taking note of that. As our tax dollars are about to be spent on a new fleet of jets for Canada, other countries as well, and then there's that other option that's on the table right now from Saab, the Gripen. So the competition is on. Thank you to everybody for tuning in last night, by the way, for the New York mayoral debate, which attracted a really big audience, actually, on a couple of our channels. So that was encouraging to see that, and I really appreciate the support. Oh, and please like, share, subscribe to these channels if you are watching tonight, if you haven't done that already. That would really help us. It doesn't cost you anything. And if you're so inclined, you can support us by donating at freedomreporters.com, or we have the other Give, Send, Go donation page up, and you can follow that. This link, the URL is maverickdonations.com, and that will take you over there if you are so inclined to support us. And I'm going to be asking you guys for your opinion in the chat later about some fundraising options to help keep this channel on the air. And we'll do that when we get closer to tonight's Maverick Midnight Matinee feature for our watch party this evening. And I'm going to let you guys guess what tonight's feature presentation is going to be. I'll give you your first clue, 2 clues. It's a feature from the 1970s. It was a made-for-TV movie, and it has a boat in it. So I'll leave it there. If you can guess, if you guess what tonight's feature is, I will send you a t-shirt. All you have to do is give me your address and I'll ship that out to you. A Maverick News t-shirt or a Knights of Malta, Exile the Knights of Malta t-shirt. Your choice. You just let me know. So those are the clues. 1970s made for TV movie with a boat in it. Good luck. Oh my. All right. So again, if you're so inclined, help us out tonight. Donate at freedomreporters.com or maverickdonations.com.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, Maverick News. Defending free speech, Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Brightleaf Innovations is excited to offer our newest investment opportunity, the Turn Easy Bed Storage Solution.
Turns with a touch, spins all the way around. Every little thing you need is easy to be found. No more clutter, no more mess on the floor. Just spin it, reach it, you don't search anymore. Turn Easy Bed, spin your world around. Storage made simple, the best you found. Shelves your way, keep the mess away. Charge it, store it, night or day. Custom shelves for your books or your tech. Cozy space for your treasures to protect. Built-in power when you need to recharge. Smart design that makes your bedroom feel large. Turn Easy Bed, spin your world around. Storage made simple, the best you found. Shelves your way, keep the mess away. Charge it, store it, night or day.
Designed and developed by Brightleaf Innovations, proudly Canadian and patent pending in North America. Turn Easy Bed transforms how you live.
To learn more about this innovative new product idea and exciting investment opportunity, call 519-784-0222 or visit brightleafinnovations.com.
Okay. Yeah, and thank you to our new sponsor, who's actually it's a person that I know with a business, and I'm doing some work for him, and he has been gracious enough to run a few of these spots on our program. That being said, we have bills to pay, so if you're inclined to help us, now would be a good time. Definitely. Let's we'll revisit that later. I'm going to look in the chat here and see if anybody has any guesses on tonight's movie. No, it's not Satan's Triangle. Good guess, though. Very good guess. I probably would have guessed that, too. But nope. Vicky Gould says, for a fundraiser, a kissing booth with Cosmo. Okay, he can be in the booth and you can go up and get kissed by him all you like. Me? No. Moby Dick? No, not Moby Dick. Old Man in the Sea? Nope. Poseidon Adventure or Jaws? Nope. The White Dawn. The White Dawn. I don't know. It's not that. I don't know if I've ever seen that. No, let me check some of the other channels here. Let's see if anybody is guessing on any other channels. Yeah. Jesus. The comments over here. Oh my goodness. Okay. No, I don't see any correct answers at all. Cruise if the Cynthia. I don't know what that means. Cruise. No, I don't know what that is. Deadly Hunt. No clue. All right, I'll leave it with you. We'll let it linger a little while longer. We can come back to the guests on the movie for the night. So just to let you know as well, I'm putting some extra work in here. I was contacted by the People's Party of Canada. They asked if we would assist with producing and covering their upcoming gala, State of the Nation Gala, which is going to happen on November 1st. And so, us being a news operation, I said, yes, we will. So, we are involved in helping with the video production and the coverage of that event on November 1st. And to that end, today, I spoke with Michael Bader, who has been on the program before, a PPC candidate and one of the most prominent members of the party, does a lot for the PPC and is helping to organize the whole thing. And here's a preview of what's to come November 1st. Okay, we are doing sort of an unscheduled test broadcast here right now, and joining me is Michael Bader of the PPC, the People's Party of Canada. Welcome back, Michael.
Hey, Rick, it's really exciting to be here, and I'm so glad that you're going to be broadcasting this year's State of Our Nation Gala on November 1st. If anyone's interested, we're going to have it live on Maverick News. The way you can best go is to go to Maverick News, look for it on November 1st. We're going to kick off around 6 o'clock, 6:30, somewhere in that range. We're making the details now. Website, stateofournation.ca. We'll have a link to the live in case you forget or you can't find them on Rumble or YouTube. We'll also be going out, hopefully on my X and a couple other channels. And what's really great about this year is we're going to have interviews with Rick after each of the speeches. And if you can't make it because you're in BC, like my friend who really wants to come, think about buying a ticket and donating it to some guy here that's out of work that really wants to go, but it's just a little tight to spend $200 this year. And if you're the guy that, hey, I'm doing okay, I got a good job, but I'm in BC, I'd love to support the PPC and send somebody that can go, please feel free to do that. You can go to michaelbader.com or stateofournation.ca to buy a ticket and just put in the notes that you're donating it. Every year it's been amazing. We've had 2 to 7 tickets, and it's really great because some people are struggling and some aren't, and it's a great way to help somebody out and help out the PPC.
And so, Michael, who are some of the guest speakers and attractions that will bring people out this year?
Well, this year's venue is the same venue, and this year's speakers, as usual, Max will give his State of the Nation address from Burlington. But this year, we've got Jeff Evely coming in from the East Coast there. You might remember him as the guy who walked in the forest and got over $28,000 fine. Jeff is a great freedom fighter. He's been warning about climate lockdowns since 2023. When I was with Rick after getting out of Kelowna, when I got chased out by the fire. And so he tried to address the issue in 2023. They said he had no standing. So he went day one, walked into the forest, got a 28K fine. Guy's great. I'm looking forward to his speech. We've got Vincent Gearsees. He's from the Niagara region. He's a retired the OPP forensic investigator. He's been doing great work to draw attention to the Helen Gouris issues and the injustices in our system. It's going to be great to see some of his solutions and observations. And we've got my buddy Steve Mack. This guy, he cracks me up all the time. And we decided that, you know what, put together a 10-minute skit and let's fry Carney and fry everybody in a nice satire roast. So we've got Stephen Mack, one of our PPC candidates as well from up in that Simcoe area. So I'm really excited. I'll be your host as usual. And this year, really excited to have my buddy Rick Walker here at Maverick News sending it out so my friends in Nanaimo can watch it, and my friends in Halifax, or the guys that are in Windsor that just can't make the drive out. It's a little far. So thanks so much for that, Rick. I'm really excited.
My privilege. I'm happy to participate, and I appreciate you guys allowing us to participate this year. So we'll look forward to this. November 1st, again, one more time, just plug it once more, where they can see it and what time, and I'll throw it back to you.
Well, that sounds great. And listen, just remember, stateofournation.ca. That's where we're going to have the live links up in the next couple of days. That's where you can buy the tickets. If you really want to help out somebody here, because we've been phoning people, and there's some people been here every single gala, and this year they haven't worked in a few months. And if we could get them out to the gala again, and you want to donate and buy a ticket, just put it in the notes there, and we'll make sure it gets to those people, because we've got about 2 or 3 of those people that have been there every year, but this year is really tough.
Okay, and just one last thing. The broadcast will begin at what time that day? 6 or 7 or 6:30? 6
We're thinking, so it's going to be Eastern time for my friends that are out in Manitoba and Halifax and all the other places. We're working out the final details, but it looks like we're going to be live between 6 and 6:30 to kick this off, and speeches will start around 7 o'clock. And Rick's got a great show lined up for a pre-show. Looking forward to that as well. So you want to be thinking Saturday, November 1st, stateofournation.ca, and then you'll have a link to Maverick News at that point.
All right, Michael Bader, PPC, State of Our Nation Gala, with the whole thing broadcast on the PPC website and here on Maverick News. I'll see you all there on the flip side.
Maverick News. Expose lies and tell truth. The world is watching.
Yeah, so again, thank you for joining us last night as well for the New York City mayoral debate, which we covered here live front to back, and we'll be covering the PPC State of Our Nation Gala November 1st. Just back one moment to this story about China and their quantum radar. This is getting attention in the National Security Journal. One example of a story being published today. China claims it can now detect F-22 Raptor stealth fighters. So it is a concern. The difference in this story today, because this has been technology that we've heard about over the past about 3 years now, but the difference today is China is saying they are now moving into full production of these radar systems, which could be a huge game changer and could cost the United States and other countries with these stealth fighters a lot of money. Everything is changing so rapidly because of technology. And that isn't the only way that warfare is being fought. Well, we'll come back to the technology, but I guess we should also tonight just highlight this because it ties right in. The United States now has 2 survivors in custody, acknowledged, confirmed by the U.S. government after another strike on an alleged Venezuelan cartel boat, narco-terrorist boat, as the president would call them, or Pete Hegseth. So now they have a bit of an issue that I think maybe they weren't quite counting on. They blew up this vessel, and 2 people survived, and now they're in custody. Now their legal status is in question. It says U.S. Navy helicopters were dispatched as part of the search and rescue team after overhead video showed people who seemed to have survived the initial strike. So that is not a picture of the actual vessel that was struck. And I don't think they've released the video of this at this point. But it says the U.S. here, this is NBC, has in custody at least 2 people who survived a U.S. military strike against an alleged Venezuelan drug cartel boat Thursday in international waters. I heard about this overnight, was following it through the day. U.S. Navy helicopters dispatched to search, and then they rescued 2 people at least. And this is at least the 5th strike. I think this is actually the 6th now that the Trump administration has carried out against these narco-terrorist boats that they are calling them, except this boat was a little bit different. We've now seen at least 21 people killed in these strikes. And a lot of people, even on the Republican side, concerned about the way this is being done. And it escalated concerns now because you have 2 people in custody, and this throws into question what their rights are and whether the United States is living up to or maybe violating any kind of international laws, and whether the U.S. might inadvertently or just through the revised policies be violating even some U.S. laws as this plays out, because now they have human beings who survived these strikes in custody. What do you do with them? Do you take them to the United States, put them on trial? What do you charge them with? What's the evidence? It's getting a little bit messy now. And while all that is going on, I guess we have this Admiral Alvin Halsey. Yeah, I'm not familiar with him, but he has resigned early. I believe, what is it? What was it I heard today? 2 years earlier than he had to. And it's because we're told, some people are speculating, that it's because he has been having run-ins with Pete Hegseth. So he's resigned 2 years before he was due to do that. And this friction, according to some reports, is about what's going on around Venezuela right now. That being said, Hegseth did post on social media acknowledging the resignation, but he is having none of that, just denying that the resignation has anything to do with any kind of friction at all. Trump today, in that newser where he was answering questions when he met with Zelensky. Do I have the clip here? Yeah, right here. He says this about Maduro, because of course, I've even seen clips from Republicans coming right out and saying it now, that Trump really just wants regime change in Venezuela, and that's really what this is all about. So we've seen Maduro come out and offer to cough up a lot, like share the oil, stop doing business with China and Russia. And Trump talked about that today.
Offered everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody. Thank
you.
There you go. So Maduro has basically offered to cough up everything, capitulate, bend the knee on, I guess, virtually every demand coming from the U.S. side. And it doesn't seem to be making any difference whatsoever. Nothing. Trump doesn't care. Doesn't care. Oh, also, back to the news conference and a response that we're seeing on, he was talking about China. Remember this post on social media, though, on Truth Social? So today when asked about China, he says, I think things are going very, very well. But this was what he posted a few days ago about China on Truth Social. He says, I believe that China purposefully not buying our soybeans and causing difficulty for our soybean farmers is an economically hostile act. We are considering terminating business with China having to do with cooking oil and other elements of trade as retribution. As an example, we can easily produce cooking oil ourselves. We don't need to purchase it from China. It's getting nasty out there. And soybean farmers in the U.S. are not happy. Things are not going quite as smoothly as he would have you believe. But a lot of that is because it's a show. It's a show. You never know what you're going to get with Trump. It's like a box of chocolates, right? And here's another thing that you're going to start hearing about, this tunnel proposal between Russia and Alaska. Trump mentioned it today, or was mentioned to Trump, and Trump commented on it. And he asked Zelensky about it. Asks Zelensky if he thinks it's a good idea, if he likes the idea. Obviously, he doesn't. And keep in mind that Vladimir Putin has talked about making Alaska part of Russia. And you could see that he had his sights set on Alaska in at least some capacity when he was meeting with Trump in Alaska. And now they're talking about building a tunnel. These are the strangest of times. I think this is the clip here.
This came up yesterday, a tunnel from Russia to Alaska. That's an interesting. What do you think of that, Mr. President? Do you have any ideas? How do you like that idea?
I'm not happy with this.
I don't think you're going to like it. I don't think he liked it. I don't think he liked it.
President Trump, do you think that?
A tunnel from Russia to Alaska. I don't think that's a good idea either. But maybe I'm just Russophoba, suffering from Russophobia. Well, we'll see. That would be quite a project, though. I don't know how you'd build it. That would be an engineering feat. Oh boy, tunnel. You know, if you did that, I think you'd have a sovereignty issue on your hands there, Donald, because you have this divide geographically, Alaska with the rest of the continental United States, and then you've got this direct tunnel where people can drive through from Russia to Alaska. It would make Alaska more Russian than American at that point. They'd be more connected to Russia than the United States. I don't know. Better think that one through, I think. But the world is changing, and rapidly, and that is because also of technology and social media. Case in point, people keep saying it's just like a movie, and Trump keeps saying things like it's central casting. And it is. This is all part of the information war, whether it's just on the political side, with one party against another heading into an election. There's an information warfare component that comes with that, a more escalated and stealthy, covert kind of information warfare that takes place from, between countries, always, especially in times of war. And I believe, and I think it's pretty clear that we are involved in a third world war, the likes of which we've never seen before. And that's because it's an information war at this point that hasn't gone like kinetic, but could. But even on the home front, well, President Trump says he's the president of peace. You see a country deeply divided, a country that is just immersed in information warfare domestically. I've seen Substacks just within the past day talking about America is at war with itself. Trump talks about fighting a war against an enemy from within. That's a very real thing. And it's manifesting itself in terms of what's going on social media. And the White House, the government itself, is putting out social media content that is directly related to what I'm about to show you. So here's this video that is controversial and highlights exactly what I'm talking about. This relates to information warfare. Also, the immigration policies, the use of ICE to go around rounding up what they're saying are illegal migrants. And this was a subject that was front and center during the mayoral debate in New York last night. It's top of mind for everyone these days. And this video about the mayor of Chicago, it says here, well, here, I'll show you the post from the White House. And this video, it shows you that this is really, we've really entered is a new era of reality programming.
Chicago is a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. We have a governor that refuses to admit he has problems. Everybody knows how bad it is. This open borders nightmare flooded our country with fentanyl and with people that shouldn't be here, some of the worst people on earth, and illicit drugs decimated American communities and left us with the largest law enforcement challenge in our country's history.
Presidents say they have had enough.
We need to invite President Trump in. We invite the National Guard in. You know, we've had 254 deaths in 233 days. And for anyone in our community to say people are safe, that is an outright lie.
They need help badly. Chicago desperately needs help. We don't want to lose Chicago. We're going to lose Chicago. We want to save these places. We're going to lose it. We're not going to allow this kind of savagery to destroy our society anymore. We're stopping it, doing one by one.
That is the government perspective. That's a government-produced video. It is slick, professionally produced, scary music, propaganda, or fact. Well, that kind of content is being used to play with people's minds, to create a narrative, to generate support for the government position. And we all need to be aware of that. Tonight, as a result of that, I do want to show you, if I still have it here, that there are concerns about this because some of the footage in there allegedly is not actually from Chicago, which is I don't know if the tab is still open, so I can show you this. Let me find it again. Okay. Yeah, right here. Here's a fact check on it that I just stumbled on. This is not the tab that I wanted to show you, but this illustrates the point that I'm making. So the government itself is using footage from various cities, doing a mashup to paint Chicago with a video brush that isn't really entirely accurate. White House's Chicago Chaos video uses footage from other cities. A dramatic voiceover video shared by the White House and U.S. President Donald Trump, this is on AFP Fact Check, claims to show immigration agents responding to the, quote, mess in Chicago, and as the Republican seeks to justify deploying National Guard troops to the Democrat-run city. But an AFP investigation found that the video is littered with outdated footage highlighting drug busts, arrests, and deportation rates in other states, including Florida, Texas, South Carolina, and Nebraska. I've seen different politicians from different parties in various countries end up with a little bit of egg on their face, producing content with video footage that is not really what it's supposed to be. Trump has been caught more than once, but he's not producing this stuff himself, but the video production teams are are doing these kinds of things to just make the stuff look better than it really is, or more scary, manipulating it here. The video opens with images of Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson and Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker as text flares across the screen. Illegal criminal aliens, cartels, and gangs are poisoning our kids. It goes on and says, as the clip flashes between cinematic shots of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and other Homeland Security agents knocking down doors, chasing down deportation targets, and carrying out arrests, Trump's voice plays in the background, his words summarized into subtitles at the bottom of the screen. Chicago is a mess. The president says, you have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. Well, you just saw the video. I don't need to tell you all this. You see exactly what they're doing. And there's footage right there. Make America safe again. And it says here, Chicago doesn't need political spin. It needs help. And yet, really, what are we getting here? We're getting exactly that. It's spin. Not to say that Chicago doesn't have a problem. They do. But as I've said many times on this program, the truth is bad enough. You don't need to lie or fabricate. Why don't you just show what's happening? Show the truth. It's maybe a little difficult. Maybe it's just easier. Maybe it's a little bit lazy. Or maybe it's not as bad as they want you to believe it is. Or they're making it seem worse than it is. Or however you want to apply the perspective, regardless of how you want to describe this tonight, this is evidence that you have a government that is messing with our minds. And how would we know? Unless people really start digging in. How would you know that that isn't the right footage? Unless you happen to spot a shot. Say, wait a minute, I've seen that someplace before. Or wait a minute, that's not in that city. I know that landmark. It's actually kind of dangerous. And then Trump talks about fake news. Well, that's propaganda. That is absolutely, I don't know if it's fake, but it's a skewed reality. He's manufacturing a reality. So much of what Trump does, and it even took me a long time to clue in, because when the president or even a presidential candidate says things, you don't expect them to come right out and just, grossly lie about numbers or just completely make things up out of the blue. But that is what he does. That's part of his strategy, I've learned, is to exaggerate and even just lie, to create a reality for people in their minds. Case in point, peace in the Middle East. We have peace in the Middle East. Well, not really. You have a ceasefire that's barely holding, still some shots being fired, still some people dying. You have people right in the Middle East, there's infighting even on the Palestinian side, where they're killing dissidents within their own groups as they jockey for position and power. You have just yesterday, I pointed out, actually the day before, Israel bombing Lebanon. It's not over there. Far from it. And I don't know if it's a ceasefire. It's not a peace deal. This is phase 1. We're not even sure if we're going to get through phase 2, let alone to phase 3, let alone an everlasting peace. But he's talking and he has all these other people who are afraid of him saying, Mr. President, you deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. Does he? Maybe we better just sit back and wait and see what happens there and in Ukraine and in Venezuela and in Canada and in Greenland. And the list goes on. It's a show for him. Everything is a show. And as we get into the weekend, it's going to be another big show out on the streets. And it's going to be a real conflict. And it will be a show because you're going to have cameras on every street corner, at every protest for the No Kings protest tomorrow, the second one across the United States. And that protest will be highlighting issues just like this one, which is real. And for some people, it has become a sort of a sick form of entertainment. And when I say sick, I mean our society is suffering from some sort of weird new social media mental sickness or illness, I think. Trump's secret police shot a citizen Then damning new info emerged. This is in what is this publication? It's TNR Politics by an independent journalist, Greg Sargent. As the official Trump administration line about the shooting of a Chicago woman crumbles, Senator Chris Murphy is asking pointed questions about what really happened here. Will we ever get answers? And yeah, things have not been all, a complete bed of roses as the deportations have been happening, a very real thing. And it lays out this shooting of a woman in Chicago, glossed over by the administration, largely. We highlighted the shooting when it happened. Some people calling for a deeper investigation. There's anyway, we'll continue to follow this. I just highlight it. I'll put this link to this article in the chat on the main Rumble channel. There you go. You can go take a look at that if you want to read that to get more details on it. I think we need to educate ourselves and just become aware of all sides of these things. Let me take a little break here. We're going to come back, continue with our coverage of today's top news stories, and continue to look at some other interesting aspects of why this is really just a show.
Maverick News. The world is watching.
All right, so that video out of Chicago, that's just one. There was also this one, which I honestly, as I watch it, some people will watch this video and view it as exciting, entertaining even. I found it disturbing because while it looks like a slick Hollywood production, this was just days ago, and this is actually real. So this is reality, not television, but reality, a reality show brought to you by the White House and DHS.
Go, push! Get out of the way for the Bearcat! Clear the way for the Bearcat!
very sensationalistic. It's not news, but it is reality. Or is it? It is. Real raid on a real apartment building that really happened. And the world is watching. BBC taking note.
It looks and feels like a Hollywood blockbuster, a massive raid in the dead of night. But this is real life, an immigration operation filmed for and promoted by the Trump administration.
And this is where the raid took place. It's a 5-story building on the south side of Chicago. We're going to go inside, see who we can talk to, and try to piece together the true story here.
The apartment block is located at 7500 South Shore Drive, not far from Lake Michigan. It's on the edge of a big built-up residential area. Border Patrol agents approached from the west, and SWAT teams and other federal units arrived from the other direction. By examining the video footage, we identified the points agents swarmed towards before heading inside. They said they arrested 37 people they called illegal aliens. Tavares Ivy was woken by the commotion. He was on the top floor, the 5th, and said the operation appeared to be targeting specific flats.
I heard them reading off the numbers they need to go to, search the apartments on where the migrants is going to be at. So
it sounded like it was targeted to you.
Sounded like it was targeted. They knew what they came here for. They knew exactly who they were looking for.
As we head further inside the block, we see and smell the aftermath. The authorities claim this was home to members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua that's been classified a terrorist organization.
This flat looks like so many in this block, people's possessions strewn all over the place. It's a total mess, and they're just chucking a lot of the stuff out the window. Residents have described how it was in a really bad condition beforehand, but now, just look at it, it's uninhabitable here.
Agents dropping down from a Black Hawk helicopter was one of the most dramatic aspects of the government video. Based on the footage, the chopper had been hovering here. This tallies with what another resident from the 4th floor tells us.
The helicopter landed above my apartment maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. And they were just basically standing there in the dark with their flashlights and guns. So they scream out, federal agents. I walked toward them as they instructed. They put me in zip ties, took me downstairs.
Dwayne, a US citizen who voted for Trump, says he was held outside for an hour.
I wouldn't say that it's Trump's fault that this is taking place. This happened before Trump, so he's just really cleaning it up.
Dwayne says there were some unruly groups in the block who thought they could do what they wanted, at least before the raid. We meet one resident from the 3rd floor who describes what she witnessed. Thanil says there'd been a recent influx of Latin American immigrants and that tensions had increased.
I just feel like it was already bad here. The people, it was high crime, a lot of strays coming throughout the building. And then once the immigrants got here, they were residents all of a sudden, and they felt like it became territorial.
But it didn't feel like this was a headquarters for a foreign terrorist organization?
Not to me. I think they just blended in with everyone else.
Homeland Security won't tell us how many of the 37 people they arrested have been charged, nor where they're being held. We asked a local migrant charity and 3 Venezuelan undocumented workers living in Chicago, but no one said they'd heard from those detained.
The glistening advertising doesn't tell the story of what this block is really like. We've seen for ourselves. If there were lots of undocumented migrants living inside who weren't picked up, they certainly won't be coming back anytime soon.
The Chicago immigration raid that looked like a movie, and the promise from the White House is that there will be a sequel.
Reality show. Like it's entertainment, it's mind bending. And I said, even during the election, what is it going to look like if Trump follows through with these deportations? I knew it wouldn't be pretty. I said, you're going to have officers of some description in riot gear, paramilitary forces chasing people through the streets and loading them into the back of paddy wagons. I mean, even when I was saying it, I thought, I hope there's probably it's not gonna, yeah, it's happening. It's happening. And the optics are not good. This does not look good on the United States. Just the imagery, the optics on this stuff. And I also said that some US citizens are going to have their rights violated. You will see the government overstep, make mistakes, and maybe in some cases not even care. You will see racial profiling taking place. And indeed, that is exactly what has been happening on a number of occasions. This is from a number of weeks ago. This is down in Houston, Texas. This person, this interview from KHOU, this guy, a U.S. citizen, pulled over, detained by ICE. He didn't do anything.
House is down.
And so you were, just kind of walk me through the Wednesday morning.
So it was 7:40. Got in the car like every other day, and I was coming back. This is the way I go to work. And there was a trash truck here, parked in the middle of the road. And I was like, whatever, it's an inconvenience. 7:40 in the morning, I'm gonna be late to work. So anyways, I get here and the truck wasn't going nowhere. So I was like, I'll just wait. And while I'm waiting, I noticed some cars pull up behind me. And
so you were driving this way?
Yeah, yes ma'am.
And then they pulled you over?
Yeah, well, no, I was still here, and exactly right here, off to the side to, have enough space for the truck to pull over. And I'm, looking, forward, and then I see lights, and I'm like, dang, the cops. That's the first, obviously you see red and blues, it's the lights, the cops, I'm sorry. And so I, roll my window down like normal, and, he walked up, it was all brown, the vest and everything, it was all brown. I don't remember exactly what it said on the little patch, because it was a small patch. He says, hey, I need to see your ID. I'm like, all right, whatever, gave him the ID, and I gave him the ID, and when I went back down to put my wallet in my console, he's like, get out of the car, get out. And I'm like, for what? He's like, get out. And I'm like, for what, brother? And he's like, opens the door, he's like, get out.
What was going through your mind at that moment?
I was like, this has to be a prank. Like this somebody is messing with me, like 100% messing with me. Like, but I couldn't think of anybody that would,
Did they tell you like what violation you had committed for them to pull you over?
Nothing. They just said, here's your, where's your ID? And then get out of the car. I'm still kind of disoriented. I just woke up, going to work, and I'm like, man, what's going on, So at that time, he takes me out of the car and walks me over here, and he's like, you have it was a prior, like I had been in trouble with ICE before. Like I've had an encounter with them before.
That's what he told you?
Yeah, I've had a prior encounter with ICE, and
have you had a prior encounter?
No, never, So I was even more confused then. And so at that point, they slapped handcuffs on me. And, they're like, you have an order for deportation. And I'm like, that's crazy because I was born here, brother. I was born in College Station, man. There's no way. Like, it doesn't make sense. And he's like, no, you're the one we're looking for. And I'm like, okay.
You told him, I was born here. Did you tell him I'm a U.S. citizen?
Yeah.
What did you say?
I was like, bro, I was born here. I was born in College Station, Texas. Like, there's no way. Like, what's going on? And they said, no, we're going to do our investigation, blah, blah, yada, yada. And so put me in the backseat of their car, left my car here, and they took me about a mile that way to a church parking lot. And there they just continued to drill me like, hey, this is you.
Did they show you who they were looking
for?
So
they kind of flashed a picture at me. They're like, hey, this is you. And I'm like, okay, well, how can I tell that's me? You're saying it's me, but I don't see it's me. And so we went back and forth. probably for like an hour and a half. You know, I kept telling the agent, dude, it's not me, it's not me, it's not me. You know, they kind of laughed, and he's like, just because you say it's not you, just because you keep saying it doesn't make it true. And I'm like, yo, it's crazy. You know, like, they asked my social security like maybe 10 different times, you know, and it's like, okay, they're trying to make me maybe slip up or whatever, you know, whatever. So then it gets weird, because I'm like, you know, he's like, what's your birthday again and your social security? And I tell him my birthday and my social security, and then one of the agents goes to his Tahoe, and he comes back and he's like, man, this is crazy. He's like, some guy born January 22nd, 1992 is using the same social security number as you, but he has a very American name. And I'm like, what does that mean, bro? Like, what do you mean? What does that even mean? And so they kind of laughed about it. And, you know, meanwhile, I'm still sitting in the, in the car in handcuffs. And I'm like, dude, these handcuffs hurt, you know? Like, I don't even know why I'm in handcuffs. First of all, you didn't tell me what you pulled me over for. Like, there's no reason I should even be here right now. And they were like, no, this is you, this is you, this is you. Like, we're 99% sure this is you. And I'm like, no, man, there's no way. There's no way.
Were you scared at that moment? What were you thinking whenever they're telling you this is you?
I was getting very aggravated. I wasn't so much scared, but more aggravated, you know? And it's like, I was so aggravated because if they're drilling me the way they were, I can't imagine how they're treating people who don't have papers, who don't have the means to defend themselves. It's just, I don't know, man. It was out of this world experience, you know, to say the least. But it was pretty bad.
In your entire life, did you ever think that you were gonna get picked up by ICE?
Never. And like I said, when I told my mom, I called my wife, everybody I called, everybody kind of just blew me off, like, all right, whatever, you know what I'm saying, like, whatever, you know. And then once I showed my wife, you know, my handcuff, you know, my wrists, they were handcuffed, and the agents behind me with the pictures I sent her, she's like, there's no way, like, why, what did you do? Or, you know, my mom, she's like, you know, I was crying, you know, I'm like, bro, it's relax, like, you know, it was, for what reason, I don't know, you know, but now it's like, my mom's all tore up about it. She's like, you gotta be more careful, you know, we can't trust anybody now, you know what I mean? She's like, none of us are safe. And it's scary, you know, putting my mom in that, and then, you know, she don't even live here, you know, and it's just, it was a big thing that's just been sending my family kind of more into the worry side of, you know, the cops and everything like that. So it's a horrible experience.
So what finally made them let you go?
I don't know if it was this, but it was 3 of them, and I was like, look, guys, let's just make this simple on everybody. I was like, the person you're looking for obviously has tattoos. Everybody has tattoos. I was like, so why don't we just make our job easier? Why don't you guys do your job? If he has tattoos, then I'm gonna have those same tattoos, obviously, right? I was like, so let's just do our job. Find the tattoos he has, and if I have them, I'm your guy. If not, obviously, we could have ended this a long time ago. I was like, it's not possible that Harris County can pull my ID and they know exactly who I am in 5-10 minutes. But these guys with, you know, federal agents take an hour and a half, almost 2, trying to figure out who I am. You know, it doesn't make sense all around.
Did they say, the guy that they were looking for, did they tell you, hey, he was wanted for this or anything?
All they told me was, you have a deportation order and a prior encounter with ICE. That's all they told me.
So they didn't tell you what he was wanted for?
No. I saw what he was wanted for when Telemundo posted their story. And then that hurt me, because I was like, damn, like, that's making me look like I'm some weirdo, you know what I mean? And that's what really messed me up, is when they released that they're looking for him for all these other things, but they told me it was a deportation order.
So and that's what I was going to ask you. So I did reach out to ICE, and hold on, I was going to read you exactly what they told me. So, what time did he leave? Sorry. I'm trying to, oh, here it is. Okay. So ICE said that they were looking for a violent criminal who had been convicted of multiple child sex offenses and was an immediate threat to public safety. Was this told to you?
No, not once. Not once. I'm telling you, the only thing they said was I have an order for deportation and a prior encounter with ICE. And that's all I was told.
So hearing that, what goes through your mind?
I'm sorry, but it pisses me off because it's like, you didn't tell me what you were looking for, but all of a sudden now that I brought it to light that you pulled somebody over that you don't even know who it was, now all of a sudden he has all these other charges. You still haven't posted a picture of the man you're actually looking for, but you say he looks like me. It doesn't make sense, you know? And it's really aggravating. It's a really bad feeling in the stomach, you know?
They go on to say the person has the same first name, middle name, last name, and bears a striking resemblance.
They didn't tell me his name at all. They just said, you're the one we're looking for. Never told me a name. They did ask me a last name, Mireles or something like that. My last name's Ponce. There's 2 letters in between an M and a P, you know, so how can you tell me that was similar? You know, none of it makes sense. It doesn't.
Do you believe what they're saying?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because the way they were laughing and joking about it, you know, the DA agent, he was like, no, let's go ahead and take them in. Let's take them in. Let's take them in. Let's take them in. I'm like, dude, for what? He's like, let's take them in and then we'll do fingerprints. Let's take them in and then we'll do fingerprints. And I'm like, for what, dude? Like, I can go home right now. I have my passport. I have my social security. I have my my birth certificate. I have everything at home. Are you sure?
Did you tell them that?
Yeah.
And what did they say?
They're like, are you sure you have them at home? I'm like, I was like, I wouldn't tell you if I didn't have them, you know? They just kept saying, are you sure you have it? Are you sure you have those things? I was like, all right. And I was like, I don't know. But the way they were drilling me, it was like they were trying for me to admit something that wasn't there. Like, it was constant. Like, oh, 5 other people are using this social security number. That's weird. They use the same address as you. Like, there's no way. I was like, I just moved here a year ago, so there's no way they're using the same address. I was like, and we know the people that lived in the house before, so, you know, none of it was making sense. Like, they were just trying to throw things at me to see where they were going to catch me or if they could catch anything. And it's very disturbing. Like, even now, coming out of the house, man, it's like, what's going to happen today? You know, when they came and dropped me back off here, gave me the keys, yep, and they said, shave your beard off so we won't mistake you again. And that was it. And everybody went their own way.
So are you scared?
Not scared, angry. I'm not scared because I don't have anything to fear, you know what I mean? It's just, I want people to know that what's really going on out here, you know? Supposedly they're looking for somebody, but they don't know who it is. You know, why haven't they released a picture of them like, you know, Harris County does when they're looking for somebody? Why won't they release that, you know?
I guess, did it feel like a threat when they said, shave your face or we'll pick you up again?
Yeah. He's like, shave your face so we don't confuse you again. So, what are you doing, you know? Like,
do you think that they'll try to pick you up again?
I hope not. Hope not. You know, their whole thing, they're like, you know, the guy has a car exactly like yours. I'm like, can I see a picture of the car? You know, because, you know, people confuse them all the time. He's like, no. And I'm like, can I see the car? Like, because first, you didn't run my license plates. You could have known who I was from running my license plate. You could have known who I was from running my ID. So, I mean, why did it take for me to get hauled off? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I pretty much felt kidnapped. You know, they just put me in there, said I have a deportation order, put me in handcuffs, and took me to another location. So it's like, am I being kidnapped? I couldn't call my wife, you know, couldn't call, you know, work, nobody. I was just locked up in the back seat.
I was gonna say, in this statement, they said they took him to an alternate location to verify his identity. Immediately upon confirming he was not the target, they took him back to his residence and apologized for the confusion.
No. So when, like I said, after all that went down and I told them to check for tattoos, then that's when everything started to simmer down. And they're like, okay, well, you're not who we're looking for. Put me in the back seat, came and dropped me off, and they just said, you know, we're just doing our job. I'm like, dude, this isn't doing your job. If I had to tell you to look for tattoos since you couldn't identify me, you're not doing your job. You know what I mean? And I strongly feel that way, that why do I have to tell them to look for tattoos if my ID's not working, look for tattoos? You know, I can't erase a tattoo on the fly, and I can't create a tattoo on the fly, so.
Did they apologize?
No, they just said we're doing our job. I don't think that's an apology. I mean, you know.
So now, when you're leaving your house, do you feel like you need to carry your passport? How are you gonna? How do you move on from this?
I don't think I need to carry my passport personally, just because I feel like I've already went through this, and if I go through it again, it's ridiculous if I go through it again, you know. But like I said, all my friends, you know, hey man, are you okay? Like, how do you feel? I'm like, leaving my house, it's a little bit of paranoia now, not so much fear, but it's paranoia, you know. I moved to Houston like 4 years ago, never had trouble, nothing like this, you know, never, you know. Never been paranoid to leave my house at all until now. And now it's like, what if my wife leaves the house and they do the same thing? You know what I mean? You know, it's just a lot of paranoia and a lot of anger that's just kind of built up.
Had you ever been, or had you ever had an encounter with ICE?
Never. Never, never, never. Maybe at the border when we came back from Mexico, you know, but hey, you a citizen? Yes. Okay. Gone about your way.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
I was going to ask you, I guess it's just, I'm just trying to make sense of all this.
You know, you and me both. You and me both.
What you want to ask.
Like I said, my wife still thinks it's a joke. You
Ask
know?
the racism question.
My mom, you know, like I said, my mom's all tore up about it.
It's coming.
My dad as well, but you know, I'm still trying to process it as well. Like, I can't believe that happened. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just very uncomfortable.
Do you feel like, had they been watching you, do you know?
So I had seen that car around the neighborhood maybe like 2 or 3 times. Because, you know, I mean, obviously we live in this small neighborhood. You know what car belongs here and what car doesn't. And I had seen them a few times, but I just don't pay it no mind. You know, 1, I'm not doing anything wrong. 2, I don't have nobody to worry about. So I'm just, you know, going on about my day. And when I see them pull me over, and that's what I told them when they had me in cuffs. I'm like, you guys have been watching my house for a couple days, huh? And he was like, well, this isn't the first time I've been there. I was like, I know, because I've seen this car. And I was like, you know, I never would have thought it was an ICE agent. You know what I mean? I just knew it was a different car in the neighborhood. So, you know, and then, I don't know.
It's coming. It's coming. She's going to ask.
I was going to ask you, do you feel like you were pulled over for being Hispanic?
Aha.
That's a hard one. But then again, yes, because like I said, they've been in the neighborhood. So obviously I guess they were watching me. I don't know if they were watching exactly me or they were just waiting for something. Because like I said, you can't see in the car. The car is dark. But, you know, once he got my ID, he was like, it's a wrap. Like, let's go.
But in order to get an ID, you need a social.
Okay. So I don't think this looks good on the United States. I really don't. And look at the way this has changed this person's life. Now, when he leaves the house, he feels paranoid. There is fear there that this is going to happen again. The United States under Trump, and because of all this deportation, the deportation initiative, this has changed the fabric of the country. It's changed the way people socialize. It has changed the way people live. I don't think the United States has ever been like this before. And now you're seeing as well, officer against officer, because just this is breaking. This is out of, I believe, Florida. And this is a man who says he is a DHS agent, pulled over for a DUI, driving under the influence, with kids in the car. And then look at the way he responds. Look at the way that he acts. And even tries to pull a DHS trump card, if you'll excuse the pun, on the officers making, you know, pulling him over and doing their job.
The guy in the white shirt.
That's the colonel.
Colonel, don't mean shit to me. Okay, well. Look, I'm federal.
Okay.
I'm trying to get home. I got my boys with me.
Who do you work for?
DHS.
Do you have your ID with you?
No, I don't.
Okay. But if I called them, they'd verify that you're a
100%, bro.
Okay. You don't have any type of credentials or anything that say you're DHS?
Not on me, no.
Okay. All right.
I only bring my weapon with me if I'm.
Okay. But you don't have any weapons on you right now?
No, I don't.
Okay, so what I want to do, I want to talk to you away from the kids. So I'm going to ask you to step out of the car, and we're going to walk back to the back of your car, okay?
Are you fucking serious right now?
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
he's
sir, I am.
serious, dude. Get the hell out of the vehicle.
You know
the
what?
right
Call my
thing.
supervisor.
Okay. Do you want to do the exercises or no?
I'll do it. But you know what? What's homeboy doing down there? You know, guys, come on.
Make sure we all sit because we're inside of the water. You don't want to get hit. You don't want you to get hit. That's why I'm trying to do the exercise. That way we can move
Are
on.
you Haitian?
That's nothing to do with my wrist, buddy.
My question was, are you Haitian?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where he's from. Okay.
Oh, does it?
Look, man, I really need you to do the exercise. If you don't do it, then I'm going to say that you're refusing to do the exercise. I get it. You need a minute. I gave you a few minutes, okay? But
Let me talk to your supervisor.
not right now, sir.
Yeah?
If you're a cop, whatever.
Yeah, I'm a fucking law enforcement,
Okay,
dude.
then stop talking and sit in the back of the car and stop. Stop this.
Come on, let's go.
Stop this.
What about my kids?
We're gonna take care of it.
No,
But
I'm
first
not
I need-
going in there. Let me talk to your supervisor.
Again, you can talk to him in a second.
Nope. Not going in there without my supervisor.
Okay, let's go to the other side. Come here. Come on, man. Don't pull against me. Let's go.
I'm not moving, bro. Don't fucking do this.
Let's go.
Lane.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Hey, come on, buddy. We're not doing this. Come on. Let's go.
So you guys are fucking shut.
Come on. Put your feet in.
Stand up.
Stand up. Come on.
Stand up. Put your feet in, man.
No.
Man,
Put
don't be
your
a
feet
kid.
in.
Come on.
Stop.
Where are my kids?
Stand up. Put your feet in.
What?
Put your feet in. Put your feet in.
You don't want to make this worse already.
Come on. Come on, man. Let's go.
You gotta sit in the car,
You're
man.
going to jail for DUI, which is a misdemeanor. If you don't cooperate, you go to jail for resisting. It only makes it worse.
Come on. Put your feet in, buddy.
All right, your kids will be fine. This will pass.
Listen to me.
No, sir, not on the side of the road.
Come on. Let's go, man.
We gotta sit down, Scott.
God damn you guys.
Wow. And so that is starting to go viral. And it's not the first time something like this has gone down. So here's when Florida Keys deputy gets DUI with child in car. It's not his first time in cuffs. Here's a different one. And I have not verified who that guy is. That's just the way the video is presented. That's just what he said. I haven't been able to find confirmation of whether he actually is a DHS agent or not, or if he was just saying that, trying to get off the hook. But of course, if he is a DHS agent, then what he was looking for was special treatment. He was looking for cops to just let him off because they're brothers. See how it works, or could work if that's what's going on. Florida Keys deputy gets DUI with a child in car. It's not his first time in cuffs. And this was 2 days ago. Monroe County Sheriff's Office Deputy Jesus Abdil Roja Burgos was pulled over near Cudjoe Key and charged with driving under the influence and child neglect. Not a DHS thing, but it just popped up, sharing that with you. A bad attitude from that guy. I'm not getting in the back of that car. Oh, no? Oh, you better. Back to the two survivors from that Venezuelan boat strike. It was actually kind of a submarine, apparently. And this is Malcolm Nance, intelligence and foreign policy analyst, military expert on Times Radio, talking about this and addressing the performative aspect of what is going on around Venezuela. The fact that, well, even he makes reference to this as, I'm paraphrasing a bit here, but it is sort of a show. And it has become a sick form of social media entertainment for people to watch these boats being blown up. Now, 21 people actually killed.
Outrageous amounts of firepower. But you're talking about a country whose armed forces would be the equivalent of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, right? On their turf, home field advantage, And you can steam out there at 11, 12 nautical miles all you want. You can go out and interdict these little vessels for the video arcade view of them burning, and watching people jump into the water on fire, which is all you're getting out of this. But at some point, it could cycle out of control.
So that full interview here, you know what I'll do is I'll put the link to that interview in the chat on Rumble again. Here we go. And here's Trump addressing this tonight. Also, another clip from that show at the White House with Zelensky today, where he acknowledges that this was sort of a mini submarine thing that they kind of blew out of the water, and yet 2 people somehow survived, now in custody. Here's the president's clip on this. He says that they are narco-terrorists, and Marco Rubio echoing that.
On Venezuela, there are survivors from your latest boat strike. What happens to those survivors?
Well, I'll ask Marco to discuss that possibly.
Yeah, it's well known there's an ongoing narco-terrorist operation the United States has been conducting. As far as details of any recent strikes, we're not prepared here to announce all those details, but you'll get that information here very shortly.
And how are there survivors when these are meant to be lethal attacks?
Yeah, again, I mean, we're undertaking these operations against narco-terrorists. That's what these are. These are terrorists. Let's be clear. And but as far as the details of any recent operations, when we are prepared to announce those, we will, as the president has consistently done. So you may get something on that later today.
Let me ask you, that was in a submarine, right? We attacked a submarine, and that was a drug-carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs, just so you understand. This was not an innocent group of people. I don't know too many people that have submarines. And that was an attack on a drug-carrying, loaded-up submarine. Yeah.
On Putin, is it your belief?
Makes for a good show, doesn't it? And then you've got the legalities surrounding all of it. I get worried because if you're violating people's rights, then you're throwing them right out the window. It affects everyone. Everyone. They can do it to them, even if they are criminals. They can do it to you as a law-abiding citizen. That's why you have the Constitution. That's why you have international law. And if you just pick and choose the laws you choose to follow, then you're committing a crime yourself. And whether they are or they aren't, that's for others to decide. But they keep releasing these videos to spin up their narrative, to manufacture consent for what they're doing out there. Here's another video from Department of Homeland Security. This video showcases Operation Midway Blitz, highlighting over 1,500 arrests. Let's pick it up.
DHS has been posting on social media to promote its on-the-ground operations across the country. The latest one was posted last night, and it features what they call Operation Midway Blitz. It's an operation that started in September. DHS said it would target the worst of the worst in the state of Illinois. But taking a closer look at the video will tell you a different story. You see how DHS claims here that 1,500 plus criminals have been arrested in Chicago and the suburbs since the operation started? Well, their own most recent press release, marking 1,000 arrests, provided details for only 10 men with documented criminal backgrounds. Only 10. That's roughly 1% of those detained. And here's what DHS isn't telling you. Some of the people they're arresting have no criminal records at all. Let's rewind to the 22-second mark in this video. This scene was filmed at a bakery in Cicero, Illinois last Tuesday. And I know this because I arrived at that scene 20 minutes after it happened. And we obtained surveillance video showing Border Patrol agents arriving in unmarked vehicles, surrounding the men, who, by the way, were just drinking coffee outside of the bakery. You see the coffee cups right there? This man is Daniel Cabrera, a 30-year-old mechanic with children who was about to open his own car shop. As you can see in the DHS footage, Cabrera ran inside, agents pinned him to the ground, they dragged him out of the bakery, and then they drove him away. DHS later told us that Cabrera's only offenses were being undocumented and evading arrest. This is Mario Martinez. He's lived in the U.S. for over 30 years. DHS says he does have a criminal record. But when Border Patrol arrested him, they presented no warrant, according to 3 witnesses. His family says that while he has made mistakes in the past, he had, quote, no issues with the law in the past 10 years. One last thing DHS didn't include in this video is this. That same day, just blocks away in Berwyn, Border Patrol arrested 53-year-old Maricela Rosales, a mother of 3, on her way to the local market to buy ingredients to make a stew. According to DHS, she has no criminal record and has lived in the United States for 30 years. DHS likely has footage of her arrest too, because their go-to videographer was near the scene. There he is right there. While DHS is trying to glorify and justify its work with these cop-style videos, when you look a little closer, it might not be exactly what they're presenting.
It looks like
Yeah. Take from it what you will. Pick a side, I guess. I'm on your side. I'm on the side of truth. I don't like it when people lie. I don't like it when people fabricate things. I find it really distasteful. It's offensive, really, to me. Don't like it. That's when you lose me, when you lie. That's kind of why they're losing me out of the ostrich farm. That's why they lost me at the ostrich farm. Too much lying. We're going to come back to that in a moment. Well, you know what? We'll do it now. I know that people are talking about this arrest of Jim Kerr. And yeah, he got arrested. I knew he was going to get arrested. I knew it yesterday. How did I know? Because I watched a video that he made where he went behind the fence that has been erected to keep people out. Not supposed to go past the fence to get near the birds. And he did yesterday. He yesterday afternoon just went around the fence live. Here's a video. This isn't the video. This is a photo of him behind the fence line. He did it himself, like he's showing what he's doing. And I thought, you're asking for it. You're taunting police and the CFIA. That's what he's doing out there, where this call order remains in limbo pending a decision by the Supreme Court of Canada on whether they will hear an appeal from the farm owners asking that the cull of their birds, which were exposed to avian influenza back in December, need to be culled. Decision pending. Not sure when we'll get that decision. Maybe next week. Hard to say. In any event, they've got this protest going on out there. In my view, it has become absurd. It's just gone to extreme lengths. And people are so emotional about this. It blows my mind. I've seen some live streamers get so jacked up and their performances so over the top, I thought they were going to pee their pants. I saw one just 2 days ago where I literally thought the guy was going to pee his pants. I'm not even going to say his name. It's just, I thought this is ridiculous. But anyway, here's Jim Kerr. Now you tell me, you're supposed to stay on, see where the two people, I believe that's his wife, and there's another woman there, person in pink, on the proper side of the fence. He's gone on the other side of the fence. There's some bird food on the ground, and he picks it up in the video and he throws it over the other fence to the ostriches to feed them. So what have I seen online? I've seen Jim Kerr got arrested just for feeding the birds. That's not why he got arrested. That's what he was doing when he committed what is an alleged offense, which is breaching the rules, that you're not supposed to go on the other side of that fence because the CFIA, Canadian Food Inspection Agency, has secured the property. The birds are in their custody now. Well, the farm owners are saying they're our birds. Well, sort of, maybe, kind of, almost, technically, except that they're not in your custody. Technically, they're now in the custody of the CFIA and the care of the CFIA, and they have the farm quarantined off and secured. You're not supposed to go past the fences. That's why they put the fences up, and he intentionally went on the other side of the fences. When I saw the video, I said, he's asking to get arrested. He's going to get arrested accidentally on purpose again in order to generate a narrative. It's part of the show, which is what we're seeing out there over and over and over and over and over again. That's what's going on. That's the truth. Some people don't want the truth, or they know what the truth is and they just pretend that they don't. Even the responses from people, they're picking a team and then their team can do no wrong. But the truth is, that's what he did. Now, will he be convicted of it? He was arrested. He's being released, but apparently he's now not allowed to return to the farm because he's breaking the rules. What kind of a penalty will he pay? I don't know. But now he's probably going to have to go to court or something. Maybe. I don't know exactly what the charge will end up being. It's a violation of the act, blah, blah, blah. So how serious will it be? How far will it go? Now, if he has to go to court, he'll probably have to go all the way back out to BC, to whatever jurisdiction the charges fall under. Probably not going to be able to deal with it. In his hometown. Rick, I've got something else to show you. And again, put your guesses for the movie in the chat, and I'll come back and I'll take a look at that on the other side of this.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals. Defenders of individual rights and freedoms. Credible. Trusted. Grounded in reality. Maverick News. Maverick News. Defending free speech. Free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Too late. Too late. Too late. Maverick News. The world is watching. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Any guesses on what tonight's movie is? A 1970s made-for-TV movie with a boat in it. A boat in it. Friday night movies, Maverick Midnight Matinee coming up. Oh, Arthur, were you the first one to put Rescue from Gilligan's Island? Yes, that's right. That's the movie. Rescue from Gilligan's Island. That is going to be the movie tonight. Yeah, that's it. So Arthur, email me. Yeah, I'm going to put this in the chat. You email me your address. Was he the first? Let me just make sure here. If you were the first, then you send me your address, Maverick Multimedia at mail.com. Okay. You send me your address and I will send you a t-shirt. You just tell me which t-shirt you want. Tell me what size you would like it in, and you can have it in any color you want as long as it's black. Just like Henry Ford. Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to go back here now to the ostrich farm to just illustrate how, this is a show. All right. Because what have we been hearing for days now? Oh, the missing bird mystery, these birds, at least 100 birds missing, and all this speculation. Jim Kerr stoking the fires of speculation and paranoia that the birds might be maybe they've already started to kill them, and they're putting them into these dumpsters, these blue bins that they see coming into the farm, brought in there daily by the CFIA. Well, I'm just going to play some of this for you. And listen carefully to what they say about the blue bins with these RCMP officers.
So what about the contents of the bins? What can be done to figure out the contents of the bins?
Already gone there. I think it's not for us to talk about. I mean, I know there's people that think there's birds in there, but I don't know where you get that from.
Well, you can smile all you want, but it's a concern. It's an actual concern.
No, I smile because I know there's no birds in those bins.
I honestly don't believe there is either, but that's just my personal thing.
Yeah.
But that's all the more reason to be more transparent. If that is the case,
come clean.
Doesn't it? I know you're not going to give me your personal perception because you're not allowed, and I get that. But it seems odd to me as an individual that the CFIA is playing the cards the way they are, knowing exactly what kind of energy that they're going to. They're not stupid. Don't tell me the people in charge are stupid over there, and they know exactly what they're doing. And they know that they can pull the strings the way they're pulling them and gear people up and work people up.
No.
And anyone who says they can't or don't, that's just nonsense.
I haven't been around
They've been
for
playing
2
those games since the spring with these people.
Yeah.
No, it's the other way around, man. Now, the only reason people are getting jacked up about it is because the protesters, Jeff Gaudry, the guy speaking right there, he's their social media guy, manager, managing the narrative coming from the farm. And Jim Kerr, with all of his videos that he's been posting in recent days, he's creating this narrative, this speculation, this conspiracy theory, if you will, that they're murdering the birds and putting them in these dumpsters and then taking them out in the dead of night. Well, or putting them in the bins in the dead of night or whatever. And we've seen the videos of garbage bags being thrown around and even people talking about the birds. I even saw one photo, which I question its validity. Maybe it was even Photoshopped, made to look like there was a bird leg sticking out of a bag. That was being pulled out of one of the dumpsters and pushed into another dumpster. And I don't even know where it was from. It might not even have been a picture from the farm. I don't know. But here's the point. You heard the officer there say, I don't think there's any birds in those bins. And he's laughing about it because there are clearly, now you know, from the officer just saying that, there are no birds in those bins. He's telling you. Even though he's not really supposed to be telling you, he's just told you. And then Jeff Gaudry says, I don't believe there are birds in the bins either, personally. So he doesn't even believe it. But that hasn't stopped them from going on and on and on and on and on about it. to lead other people, to lead you and me and the general public to believe or speculate that there are birds in those bins. Why would they do that? It just furthers their narrative. It's all part of the show. It's all a big show, baby. It's all a big show. You can pick a side, any side you want. You can be on the side of the birds if you want to be, or not be on the side of the birds if you don't want to be. I don't really care. You do what you want. I'm just bringing you the information. You can shoot the messenger if you want to, but therein lies truth. It's not far if you care to look. Now, what's the truth with the whole Epstein thing? Prince Andrew. Well, even there, you can sort of read between the lines, can't you? Especially when they put out a release like this today. There you go. A statement by Prince Andrew from the royal family. In discussion with the king and my immediate and wider family, we have concluded the continued accusations about me distract from the work of His Majesty and the royal family. I have decided, as I always have, to put my duty to my family and my country first. I stand by my decision 5 years ago to stand back from public life. With His Majesty's agreement, we feel I must now go a step further. I will therefore no longer use my title or the honors which have been conferred upon me. As I have said previously, I vigorously deny the accusations against me. And it's all about Epstein and Prince Andrew's relationship with the disgraced rich dude with the party island where the rich and famous came to play. Prince Andrew relinquishes royal title amid renewed scrutiny over Epstein. Said in a statement Friday that he is giving up his royal titles, including Duke of York, after his links to late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein returned to the headlines. Story here, global news, but it's all over the world, of course. Andrew will not be spending Christmas with the royal family in Sandringham, the BBC reports. He is expected to stay in his Windsor home, Royal Lodge, and miss the yearly tradition that's been held since 1988. Deny, but people still not happy. Now, before we get into tonight's movie, I have to ask you this. We need to generate some funds here to keep this show on the road and on the internet. So I'm trying to come up with some different ideas to do like fundraising. One of the things that came to mind was Maverick Midnight Matinee movie packs as thank you for donations. So my question to you in the chat tonight is, in addition to, like, would you be interested in maybe some Maverick Midnight Matinee t-shirts, not just Maverick News t-shirts, but maybe Maverick Midnight Matinee t-shirts with just the logos for the show, or maybe even something with movie themes on the designs? And as part of that, I was thinking we could offer up like these movie promo packs with either popcorn or maybe chocolates as part of the thank you package. What would you guys prefer? Or maybe even coffee. But I thought chocolates and popcorn might be more appropriate. Ship out some movie popcorn with a Maverick Midnight Matinee t-shirt as a thank you. So let me know in the chat what you think about that. And that brought to mind this, because when I was a kid, Jiffy Pop was all the rage. As a result, when I had my video stores many years ago, we used to sell Jiffy Pop popcorn at the store. and people would come in and they'd sort of have forgotten about it. It's not something that people commonly buy these days. Usually it's, Orville Redenbacher or just hot stuff that they put in hot air poppers, I think is the most popular way to do it. But some people just still do it on the stove. When I was a kid, we used to get popcorn and put oil in a pan and put a lid on it and pop it right in a frying pan. I don't know if you guys do that or not. Maybe some people still do. But of course, if you bought the Jiffy Pop, it was in a tinfoil plate with a covering on it. And that made me think of the old commercials back in like the early 1970s and late 1960s. The one in particular, this is the one that I remember as a very, very young kid. And that's what advertising works, because this one stuck with me. As faded as this video is, it still brings back memories for me. I hope it does for you tonight too.
Make a wish, master.
Let's see some real magic.
That's easy. Watch.
Jiffy Pop!
Jiffy Pop, Jiffy Pop, the magic treat. As much fun to make as it is to eat. Your next wish, master.
Get back in the lamb!
Oh, shucks.
Jiffy Pop, the magic treat.
As much fun to make as it is to eat.
Jiffy Pop, the magic treat. As much fun to make as it is to eat. Did you guys ever have Jiffy Pop? Lindy says she has one of those movie scene air poppers. Yeah, grandkids love it. Yeah. And Cindy says, my mom bought us Jiffy Pop or Cracker Jack. Yeah, I used to buy Cracker Jack when I was a kid. You had to be careful not to eat the toy. Yeah. Okay, Lindy, send me some, Rick. I'd happy to sell them in my store. Cool. Okay, we can figure out that. And the bags would not be that light if they were. What's that? Let's see here. Oh yeah, crazy bird stuff, that's for sure. But lovely. I'm tired of the stupid birds. I want that story to go away. Yeah, he was laughing about the birds and the dumpsters. Yeah, he's laughing because it's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. It's just gone way too far. Like I said, the one video I saw, I'm not going to say his name. I don't want to pick a fight with anybody, but I watched this video, and very prominent live streamer, just over the top, communist Canada, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you're either going to blow a blood vessel or pee your pants. You got to settle down a little bit, man. Yeah, it's just so crazy. Pro Immune says, not fair, Rick, not fair, not fair. What was not fair? What did I do wrong now? And Pro Immune says, maybe we should have stopped guessing at this point. I don't know. Did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong by giving away a t-shirt? Well, email me if there's an issue, and I'll fix it, okay? Whatever it is, don't be mad at me over the t-shirt. It's not worth it. I'm sorry. It's just Gilligan's Island. That's the movie tonight, Rescue from Gilligan's Island. So stay with me. We're going to close off this segment, which is the Maverick News program. And we're going to come back on the other side with Maverick Midnight Matinee. Let me just, what do you want? What are we going to close off with? Because it's all about a show. We've talked about a reality show. That's what we're dealing with here. Oh, my hard drive is freezing. Here we go. Let's go back. And I know what I'm going to run. My current favorite Maverick and the News Brothers song. It's all fake. Don't go away if you're watching right now and you're watching live, because when we come back on the other side of this, we'll segue into tonight's Maverick Midnight Matinee watch party, the feature presentation, Rescue from Gilligan's Island. highbrow entertainment. Catch you on the flip side.
Biden's a bot, Charlie's alive. Elvis flips burgers on the Lower East Side. 10 Trumps mask up on your phone. Shilling mean coins by remote drone. Graphene needles in your veins. Chemtrail sugar fries your brain. George Floyd's American hologram pie. Don't trust your lying eyes. It's all fake. It's all fake. The moon is a hoax. Give your head a shake. It's all fake. It's all fake. Your mama's a lizard. Your daddy's a snake. Bigfoot codes, the Mossad plan. Flat Earth truckers fighting the man. Dinosaurs guard an empty fed vault. Truth is dead and it's the media's fault. Conspiracies are real, let it sink in. Time travel, JFK is president again. 9/11's a VR game. The elite cut deals in the devil's name. It's all fake. It's all fake. From the jab to the pills that you take. It's all fake. It's all fake. The Pope's in a bunker with Q as his mate. Your phone's a snitch. Your dog's AI. The king eats penguins in conspiracy pie. JFK Jr., Cobain, and Tupac. They ain't dead. They're all coming back. It's all fake. It's all fake. Every headline, every handshake. It's all fake. It's all fake. FBI, CIA, KGB, ABC. Are you awake? Don't believe your lying eyes. It's all fake. It's all fake.
Okay. If you are watching on YouTube, you have to go over to our Rumble channel as we now move into our next program, Maverick Midnight Matinee, because YouTube doesn't like it when we run these old movies on their platform. See you over on Rumble or one of our other social media platforms like Twitter and Twitch and some others on the other side of this. Here we go. Cue Maverick Midnight Matinee.